My next guest has got a big opportunity, going to be fighting at Legends of Combat this Saturday, their inaugural show. I know they were a different promotion, but they're obviously going under a new name now. And my next guest has got a big fight here against Collin Anglin, the UFC vet. It is Chase Kuebler joining me here on the program. Chase, how you doing, man? Thanks for making time.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Not too bad. Feeling pretty good.
That's good to hear. Tell me how this all came together with you being a part of this new promotion going forward.
So I was supposed to fight sometime in September last year. The fight just ended up not, finalizing and getting together with the other opponent I had. So I ended up just coming down to Detroit because I'm currently staying in North Carolina right now with my wife. But messaged them, said, hey, I want to get on the next card that you guys have. Obviously, they set up this card. So thankfully now I'm set up against Collin, and we're good to go.
That's awesome, man. I want to go all the way back to the beginning because this is the first time you and I have had a chance to talk. Where did this journey start for you? How did you get involved in combat sports?
So originally, my dad was pretty big into boxing. And so I started off with boxing when I was a little bit younger. And he was actually as silly as the martial art is. And they do have some cool stuff. My dad was a black belt in Aikido. And we used to always watch a lot of martial arts movies and stuff like that. And he was super into it. So I always had like an affinity to martial arts. And one day, my friend, when I was around like 15 or 16, we got into an argument, and he really wanted me to join the wrestling team. And I'm like, man, I'm not doing wrestling. Wrestling's pretty lame. I said, you guys are a bunch of tights, trying to grapple with each other and touching all over each other. He's like, fine, if I beat you in a fight, then you have to go and do one practice. I was like, all right, fine. So I go and I throw a left hook at the guy. As soon as I throw that hook, he ducks right underneath, double legs me, and just starts smacking me around. So I say, all right, fine, I'll go to the practice. And from there, I went to my first practice. I got put with the wrestling captain. And back then, I was kind of a meatball. I was like 260 pounds. So I kind of got smacked around a bit. I remember vividly that Down with the Sickness was playing in the background. I got cross-faced. My nose is gushing blood. And it was just super intense. And I just look around. I'm like, oh, I love this. I can't get enough of this. So that's what kind of got me really into like the more competitive side of like competing against everybody and, kind of the martial arts side. And I started traveling, going to some other gyms and really getting into wrestling. Well, one of the coaches was a fighter. And from there, just kept on pestering him to teach me and kind of got an MMA from there. So now it's been about 12 years I've been doing this.
That's awesome, man. What a journey, and cool to see you again. Like get this big opportunity coming up here, like I mentioned. Now, along with fighting, what else do you do for a living? What's paying the bills for you right now?
So right now I am a CDL driver for the city of Greenville.
Oh, cool.
Before that, kind of did any trade you can think of. I can kind of do. I did like foundation repair. I was a carpenter with my grandfather. First ever job I had. Did plumbing out in North Carolina. What else, man? Anything, any kind of trade you can think of, I probably had my hand in it at one point, honestly.
Okay. Nice. Well, that's good. You got two careers, so to speak. You got this one and obviously the career as well. Let's talk about Collin. Obviously, I mentioned it there. He's been in the UFC. He's fought at the highest level. Stylistically, how are you looking at this fight? How do you feel like you match up against him?
I feel like it's a good matchup, honestly, especially with me, coming down from 170 realistically to fight Collin back at 155 because it's been a minute since I fought 55. But everything's working out perfect. I got a nutritionist and I have a dietitian in North Carolina that have been helping me out a lot with this cut, and it's been going great, honestly. But I feel like matchup-wise, all I have to do is go out there and just perform how I normally do. It's another fight. Okay. Obviously, I want to take his credentials into play, and he is a former UFC fighter, and that's great for him. He's done his thing, but at this point in time, it's my time to shine.
Love it. Take me through camp a bit. Where are you training? You mentioned you're in Carolina. Which gym are you at? Who are you working with? Who's helping you get ready for this one?
So in Carolina, I'm at Gamma. Also, I want to shout out Hometown and Elevate as well. They've been really just helping me get prepared and ready, especially with Gamma. That's like my main gym out there that I've been really training at. But Hometown, especially, whenever I travel out there and train at their facility, they always have a game plan and trying to get me prepped and prepared. And then obviously my main team back in Michigan, Detroit Jiu-Jitsu. That's why I was trying to come back like a week and a half before so I can finish off the rest of my camp here and get with my coaches.
Cool. Who are some of the bodies you get to work with as far as training partners?
So back in Gamma, especially, there's a kid named Noah Starwitz. He actually just won his first championship. He's ranked number one in North Carolina for the amateurs at 185, and he's like my main training partner. I see him probably 6 days out of the week, and then back in hometown, there's a few other guys like Jake Velez, Evan, and whoever else can make it out there. But there's quite a few guys. But my main sparring partner, training partner, is Noah Starwitz, and he's been really helping me out with this one.
What about your corner? Who's going to be making the trip with you as far as in the cage with you?
That would be all the guys at Detroit Jiu-Jitsu. So Anthony Fawaz, Ali Hamka, and then obviously Tony. So my three coaches kind of stayed the same. I do have those guys in North Carolina. They're going to be traveling down to watch. But as for team-wise, my main team is still Detroit Jiu-Jitsu. So those guys are going to be cornering me.
And how is the weight cut going? You seem great right now, by the way. So I'm assuming everything's going A-okay because obviously we got a couple days before the weigh-ins.
Yeah, no, everything's actually great. Definitely having a nutritionist and a dietitian for once instead of me kind of doing bro science and, trying to figure things out on the fly or how your body feels, and somebody just telling you what to do. Number one, it's a big mental fatigue a lot of the times when you have to do it by yourself. So having that stress off of me has definitely helped a lot. But the energy's been great. They've been really doing their job. They have it all planned out to a T, so I don't even have to think about anything. All I have to do is just eat or drink whenever they tell me to.
Love it. How's this fight playing out on Saturday? How do you see it unfolding?
Honestly, I see myself getting a finish, but we'll see how it plays out. It's MMA. Who knows?
Yeah, anything can happen. Where does a win sort of put you here? Because usually, I mean, if you look at sort of the history of how the UFC operates, you beat a UFC veteran. That's usually an easy way to get in there. What would a win do for you, especially a finish here on Saturday?
So the way my team's looking at it is I get this win right here. Obviously, I know that it's going to set up a lot of the bigger scenes. So I get this win here. Hopefully we can get another couple of calls from the upper shows and we'll see what happens. But this is definitely the time to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And what are some of your goals for this year? Is it just keeping active? Is it kind of, getting good fights? Like, obviously we're still at that point in the year where you're kind of looking ahead here. What are some things you'd like to accomplish this year as an MMA fighter?
So I would definitely like to fight another 2 times after this fight. Obviously things happen, people drop out and everything else, but hopefully as soon as this fight's done, I can start scheduling my next fight sometime in the summer. And then right after that, right before winter, I would like to get another fight as well. So that's at least on the plans. And then obviously I want to compete in a bunch of jiu-jitsu competitions between then.
There we go. Awesome. Well, looking forward to it. It's Legends of Combat coming up here this Saturday. If you can't go in person, check it out on Spectation Sports. That's what's your home for streaming all of the best MMA out there. Chase, this was awesome. I really appreciate the time. If there's anyone you want to thank before we get out of here, any sponsors, any social media you want to mention, I'll give you the last word.
So if you guys need to get on my socials or anything else and want to start following me, you can just look up CK Militia. That's CKMILITIA. And I just want to give a big shout out to everybody in Detroit. I love all you guys. Thank you, Detroit Jiu-Jitsu, for everything you guys have done. And obviously my team's Gamma and Hometown. Love you guys. Hopefully I can come back with the win.